What's going on? A little early in the morning here on a Monday morning. I hope you're doing well. If I look like I'm still half asleep, it could be because I'm still kind of half asleep. I have taken a shower and all that, but just hard waking up in the morning. So today I want to focus on a couple things. CNN10 as usual, and in CNN10 they're going to talk about this place called St. Vincent, which is in the Grenadines. It's in the Caribbean or Caribbean. So let's do a check on the map, see where that is. We'll talk about why we're there. So when I think of the Caribbean or the Caribbean, I often think of like a little bit higher up, Cuba, the Bahamas. But this is closer to Venezuela, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And what's happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados is near there, is a volcano. So they have had eruptions in St. Vincent. I'm going to ask you to watch a YouTube video on the eruption in 1979. And then they had another one in 1902. So there is a lot of volcanic activity here in this part of the world. If you know about the Ring of Fire, that's the Pacific Ocean. And you have like Japan has a lot of volcanoes, and even the United States with Mount St. Helens. So you don't think of, at least I don't think of volcanoes in the Atlantic Ocean. There are a couple in Europe. We've actually talked about in Europe with Vesuvius and stuff, but I don't think of volcanoes here in the Caribbean, maybe as much as I should. And they're going to talk about how on Friday, another volcano erupted, and that is posing some particular problems for St. Vincent. Of course, it's an island. You only have so many places you can go to escape on an island. There is a little bit of lava, but it sounded like from CNN10 what they were talking about. The biggest problem they have is like ash and people with respiratory problems. You will see a video where there are lava streams coming down, and it basically says whatever's in its path. I mean, it destroys. So yeah, you'll see a lot of ash on the street. It's a French name. Let me try to say it. La Soufrière. I probably messed that up, but they will mention it many times in the video. Good Friday. You will hear some of the people talk about Good Friday in 1979. If you're not aware, that's the Friday before Easter. So they never fully explain it in the video. But in 1975, La Soufrière exploded or erupted. It didn't explode. Like if you ever hear of Mount St. Helens, that's in Washington State, that exploded. Like the top of the mountain literally fell off, erupted, exploded. This is a little different. It's a little bit more subtle, still very dangerous. But I don't think they have to worry about an explosion here. And so the problem is that people are going into evacuation shelters. Still got the pandemic. So when people are crowded into the same place, the officials of St. Vincent, they're a little bit worried that this may be a super spreader. So you have the threat of the volcano, and now you have the threat of coronavirus in St. Vincent. The next story that CNN10 is going to talk about is a $1 billion program to try and collect a 2-ounce sample, very small sample of material from an asteroid. And it's going to be coming home soon-ish, like September 2023. And they'll be collecting that sample. They've already collected that sample. It happened over the weekend, but then the sample will be brought back, and scientists will figure out what's going on this asteroid. Spoiler. So I'm not going to discuss the question, but I got it wrong. And the last thing that you'll see, no, second to last thing. The second to last thing is actually the last story, and it's something that happened in Hamburg, Germany. It's pretty cool. It's basically like this whole town has been made miniature, and there are landmarks all over the world. You see like Mount Rushmore on there, and there's this train that will go through this little miniature village, and it set a world record over the weekend. I don't know. Should I say the world record? I mean, you'll see it. Hopefully, you'll watch it. Right? You'll watch it. Basically, it set a record for the longest. I don't know how you would say this, but the longest amount of melody ever played by a miniature train. So just watch it and you'll see. It's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. I can't imagine how long it would take. I'd probably get very frustrated setting all this up, but it's a team. You'll see there's a whole bunch of people doing it in Hamburg, Germany, but pretty cool. The last thing I want to talk about is waterspout. And we don't hear much about waterspouts. Luckily, we don't have them in Maine, but you might hear of tornadoes. And waterspouts are very similar to tornadoes. And I would like to read an article with you, talk about it, because I think it will help shed some light on what waterspouts are. Because CNN10, the third story, is going to talk about a waterspout in Florida that damaged some property. So let me screen share this here so we can read this all together. And this is from a great website. It's called How Stuff Works. They also have a podcast. So if you're ever, well, it's the website is called How Stuff Works, but the podcast is called Stuff You Should Know. And it's great. Let me get the glasses on here. So, can a waterspout turn into a tornado? So basically, what waterspouts look like are tornadoes over the water. If you're looking at your kitchen faucet in horror and thinking, I honestly hadn't had the faintest idea that my waterspout could turn into a tornado, you've got a friend in this article. So they're trying to make a joke there. Like when you turn on your faucet, that can be called a waterspout. It's not a very good joke, I don't think, but that's the way they try to start this article out. Not a very good joke. I'm trying to make this a little bigger. So, yeah. Waterspouts of the common variety, the ones that deliver water from your hose or faucet, are not the waterspouts we're talking about here. It's fair to say that those waterspouts will not, in fact, turn into tornadoes any more than your left shoe. These waterspouts are a different breed entirely. Let's get one thing clear. These dangerous weather events absolutely can turn into tornadoes, and you better get the heck out of the way if they do. Let's dive into the eye of the storm and get a little background on waterspouts. And they're also using a pun right there. So the eye of the storm, we might, it's actually pretty calm, but with a tornado, with a hurricane. But if you're talking about the eye of a storm, it just means like the meat of the matter, like the hardest part, the eye of the storm. So if somebody's having a baby, like the eye of the storm would be just like right before the birth, when the mom is probably in the most pain. First, remember that myth that tornadoes don't cross rivers or lakes. This may seem appealing for safety's sake, but it's entirely untrue. Even waterspouts. Waterspouts are tornado like columns of water and air that form over water or have moved to water after forming on land. They're accompanied by tornado conditions too: huge tail, stormy conditions, and dangerous lightning. That means the usual tornado warnings apply. Stay away from waterspouts if you see them. And this is a waterspout over Dolphin Island back in Alabama. 2019. You can see. Let's see. Can we play it? Oh, yeah, we can play it. So I don't know about you, but I probably wouldn't be just like looking at that water spout. I'd be probably trying to get away. I actually was in Alabama, maybe like in 2017, I think it was. I was on a beach very much like that, not far from Dauphin Island, actually. I was in Mobile, and we like lightning struck the sand on the beach that I was on. I did not wait around to see if there was going to be another lightning strike. I grabbed my children, we ran to the car. Yeah, that tornado, sorry, that water spout could definitely turn into a tornado. So yeah, hope that helps. Check Google Classroom because there will be a link to another video on the 1979 eruption in St. Vincent, and also a video about Cambodia. All right.